Okay, so I'm going to show you how to complete the square with both trinomial and polynomial cases. For our trinomial, I'm going to start with 16x squared minus 64x minus 80, all equal to 0. Your first step in completing the square is moving your constants over to the other side of the equal sign. So you're going to add 80 on both sides. This gives you 16x squared minus 64x, all equal to a positive 80. Your next step in completing the square is trying to find a factor between your two similar terms. So here our factor case would be 16, because 16 goes into 16 one time, and 16 goes into negative 64 a negative 4 times. So you'll pull out 16 to be outside of the parentheses, so then you have x squared inside parentheses minus 4x, because you're multiplying 16 times each of these to get your previous values. And then I'm going to leave a space, all equal to 80. This is where your formula for completing the square comes in, which is b over 2 all squared, which is equal to c. And that's the value you're trying to find here, because this is our standard form of ax squared plus bx plus c. So here your b in this case is negative 4. So you're going to have negative 4 over 2 all squared. So in this case it gives you a negative 2 all squared, gives you a positive 4. So now you're going to be inserting 4 right here, but because you're adding 4 to one side, you have to add it to the other. But keep in mind, you have 16 outside of the parentheses. So in reality, you're actually adding a positive 64 to this side. So because you're adding a positive 64 to this side, you have to add a positive 64 to the other side. Now this gives you 144. Okay? So the whole point in completing a square is you're trying to find a factor, a missing factor to fully complete and undo this full standard form. So you still keep 16 outside, then you have your initial parentheses. So we're starting to bring down terms, but this time we have our lone x because we're going to square outside of the parentheses now. So you're trying to find your missing factor, which is actually found by b over 2. So we already found b over 2, which was a negative 2. So you're going to insert your negative 2 here. And if you actually completed this and multiplied x minus 2 by x minus 2, you would get this up here. And so now this is all equal to a positive 144. The next step is you're trying to get the right side of the equal sign equal to 1. That's the goal, is you're trying to get the right side of the parentheses all equal to 1. So by doing this, you're going to divide 144 on this side to get it to equal 1. Now what you do to one side, you have to do to the other. And that was the goal here too, because you're trying to get the other side of the equal sign into a fraction format. So divide by 144. And this 16 goes into 144 a total of 9 times. So you'd have 1 over 9, but you can simplify that down to x minus 2 in parentheses all squared over 9. Okay? And that's equal to a positive 1. Now that's the first step in completing the square for a trinomial. The next step is doing polynomials. So I'm doing 2 different sets of polynomials, but we'll gradually build up to the biggest set of polynomial that I'll cover. Okay, so for our first polynomial, we're going to have 2x squared plus y squared minus 12x plus 14, all equal to 0. Now again, our first step is moving your constants over. So in this case, it's our positive 14 that's going to change into a negative 14 over here. So you're going to have your 2x come down plus y squared minus 12x all equal to a negative 14. Now, in this set, now that you're given both an x term and a y term, you want to get all the similar terms onto one side. So that's what I'm going to do in this step. So I'm going to have 2x squared minus 12x plus y squared, all equal to negative 14. Now, similar to what we did for trinomials, we're going to just separate and focus on each term at a different time. So you have to find your common factor of just looking at the x terms, and in this sense, it's going to be 2. So you pull out 2, your initial parentheses, x squared, minus this time a 6x. Now you leave a space, close parentheses. Okay, so just like before, you're using the formula again. So you'll have b over 2 all squared. Your b in this case is a negative 6. So you have negative 6 over 2. That, squared. That goes to a negative 3 squared equals a positive 9. So now, again, you're inserting a positive 9 here, but remember, you pulled out your 2 over here. So again, you're not really inserting a positive 9, but a positive 18, because you have to multiply it. And what you do to one side, you have to do to the other. So I'm going to finish writing out the rest of the problem. Okay, so now you're adding 18 to both sides, and this equals a positive 4. Okay, so now I'm going to rewrite this down here again. So you have 2. Now you've set it up to where now you can complete the square. So it's going to be x. We found that our missing factor was a negative 3. So it'll be minus 3 all squared. And then plus y squared equals a positive 4. So now, again, we're trying to get this into fraction form and remove some coefficients and get the right side of the equal sign equal to a positive 1. So you're going to divide by 4 on this side, equals positive 1. Now, because we have two different terms here, I'm going to split this up to be divided by 4, and then the y side divided by 4. So now this takes care of the y side, but you're just going to have to do the math for this side. So again, this can be rewritten as x minus 3 all squared over 2 because we simplify, and plus y squared over 4 all equal to a positive 1. Okay, so that's solving, completing a square for a polynomial. Now we're going to expand more on the polynomial idea. Okay, so for a bigger polynomial set, we're going to have 16x squared, and this will be followed by a positive 4, y squared, okay, minus 64x, minus 28y, minus 31, all equal to 0. So again, the first thing that we do is we move our constants over to the other side. So this is positive 31, add 31. Now I'm going to do this step collectively, where I'm going to move all of my similar terms to one side, and then the other similar terms to the other side. So I'm going to have 16x squared minus 64x plus 4y squared minus 28y equal to a positive 31. Okay, so now you're going to split these up into parentheses, and you're just going to group the like terms. So again, you have to find your common factor between 16x and 64x, and similar to the first one, it's going to be 16. So you're going to pull out 16, have x squared minus 4x, and then you're going to leave a space, and now you're going to have plus, and again find a common factor between your second term. So we're going to pull out 4 because 4 goes into 4 and it goes into negative 28. So we have 4 initial parentheses y squared minus 7y and then a space, all equal to a positive 31. So again, we're going to be using our completing the square formula 2 times because you have a full 2 sets that you're needing to factor out into you need to complete the square for. So you're going to have b over 2 all squared again. So our b term in the x is a negative 4. So b is the negative 4 over 2 all squared equals negative 2 squared, which equals to a positive 4. So now you are inserting a positive 4 on this side, but remember you pulled out your 16, so you're having to add 64 to this side. Okay. Now again, you're going to use your b over 2 all squared, but this time your b term is going to be negative 7. So you're going to have negative 7 over 2 all squared. Now this is a different case because this fraction does not pull down nicely. It doesn't simplify. So what you can do here and what makes it easier is just leaving it in fraction format but changing it to where it's 7 over 2, negative 7 over 2 times a negative 7 over 2. So then you can just multiply across. So then a negative 7 times a negative 7 equals a positive 49. And then 2 times 2 equals a positive 4. So this is your fraction that you're going to just insert over here to your other side. So you're going to insert a positive 49 over 4. Now again, you pulled out your 4, so you're going to multiply 49 over 4 times a positive 4. Now when you're multiplying this, the division in the fraction cancels with the positive 4 over here. So you're just really adding a 49 on this side. Okay? So now this is all equal to 144. And now you can complete the squares for both sides. So again, I'm going to bring down 16. I have x, leave a space. I'm just going to set it up at first, and then leave a space. Equals to 144. Okay, so initially we found that our missing term was negative 2 because b over 2, it finds this missing factor for you. So this is negative 2, and if you were to complete this all squared, if you were to multiply x minus 2 by x minus 2, it would give you what's in the parentheses up here. So then you're going to have, again, you find that your b over 2, it really doesn't simplify. It does simplify, but making it easy on ourselves, you're just going to keep it negative 7 over 2. So you have minus 7 over 2 squared here. So again, if you multiplied y minus 7 over 2 by y minus 7 over 2, you'll be getting this, what's in the parentheses. So similar to all the other ones, you're now going to start dividing to get this side equal to positive 1, and then split this up to where it's divided by 144 with different terms. Okay, so 16 goes into 144 9 times. So it'll be 1 over 9, so you're just going to have x minus 2 all squared over 9, and then plus 4 goes into 144 36 times. So you're going to bring down y minus 7 over 2 all squared over 36 equals to 1. So that is completing the square for a larger polynomial. I hope that helped. Bye.